Okay, I think we might be live now.
Yay,
You always ask,
we're
are we
live.
live? Are we
I know,
live?
I asked
Are we
it like
live?
3 times
Are we
before we
live?
went live.
Hello, and welcome.
Hello.
Happy Hump Day.
Oh, it is Hump
It's
Day,
Hump Day.
isn't it?
I know.
Yes, the week
I
goes
like-
by fast.
I know, man. It's especially early 2023. Happy 2023. Right?
Yes, and
Feeling good.
it's honestly like a good start. Don't you feel like it's a
I
good
feel
start
great.
right now?
I am still recovering from New Year's Eve. This has like been almost a week and a half later, but I'm still working it. How about you?
You had a big party.
I had a big party, but it was a good party.
Did you sleep at all?
No, I didn't sleep for like 3 days. But hello, I live in Las Vegas. That's how it works.
Living your best Las Vegas life.
That's damn straight,
Uh-huh.
damn straight. My name is Laci, Las Vegas gal. This is Amber Coleman from Guild Mortgage, and we are here so excited to talk to you today about like Las Vegas real estate myths and truths, and we're just going to debunk some of the BS that's out there right now. Some of the things that I've been hearing for at least 6 years.
I hear them every day.
Yeah, every day for what, 20 something years of your life?
Even just a couple, like yesterday, one of them somebody said something to me. I'm like, you need to watch this.
Right. So we know this is overdue. We've had a beautiful array of people reach out because of these live streams. So thank you so much for those of you who are joining us. A lot of people are saying, I wasn't even thinking about buying. I hadn't even had like buying a house in Vegas on my radar, but I saw your video and wow, you guys seem to really care and you seem to really want to help us kind of work the system, right?
Yeah, and it's beautiful to hear from you guys.
We love
really
it.
is.
Yeah. So even if you guys don't buy or don't decide to move forward, we just like hearing, we need friends. Clearly we just need friends. So
it makes us feel good when you call us.
Yes. So what I've done in advance, just to make sure it's easy to get in touch with us, is I've put the link below this video if you want to get in touch. So it's in the description if you're watching on YouTube, or it's here comes my kitty cat. She's going to come visit you. Or it's when you're watching on Facebook or anywhere else, it's going to be directly below us. So if you want to get in touch with us, please, for crying out loud, make that happen. My cat Oreo's in touch with us now.
She's rubbing all over me right now.
This is going to be for you. So this is absolutely a live stream. We always do live streams for you. So we're going to cover the topics today that we just talked about. We're going to debunk some myths, and then we're going to, of course, take questions from our amazing viewers who tune in, whether it's your first time or it's your 50th time. We're excited to have you back or here for the first time today, right?
Yes, we are. And we always get super excited to hear from you too. So
yeah, so
let us know.
Let's go, all right?
Hit us with questions.
All right, so we're going to talk today about myths in the real estate industry. And like my big thing, the thumbnail for this on YouTube was debunked, right? Because I'm ready to debunk some of this crap. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do
All
it.
right, let's start with, we're talking real estate myths. If you have myths that we don't cover, or you're something that you've always thought was true and you just want to confirm, drop it in the comments box below. Hit us hard. Draw it like it's hot. We'll definitely hit it by the end of this live stream. And if you don't stay on the whole time, don't stress. You can watch the replay. No problem.
Yeah, but test our knowledge.
So
Why you have us here.
Please do, right? So today we're going to touch on myths, and then we're going to also touch on something I like to call mythical ideas. And that's things that, you guys call us and listen, we love
You
hearing.
should have put your unicorns and stuff around
I should have,
that.
I know. These are mythical ideas that a lot of people seem to come up with on their own. I'm just going to do this and come to Vegas and do that. And I hate to break it to you, but we don't work like any other city. So most of the time, your beautiful, lovely ideas are fantastical, but they're mythical and they're not necessarily going to be working for you. So we're going to run through a few of those popular mythical ideas to make sure you have all the answers as well.
So dream life into real life, right?
Yeah, we're just going to debunk everything today. We're just bringing all the hard news. All right, so myth number one, Amber. Myth number one. Myth number one is you need a ton of cash to buy a house and a home. Is that correct?
So wrong.
Wrong. Why is it wrong?
I always hear people, I was saving it for 20%. You know what I think it is? Because it's so wrong. But what I think it is it's people that lived in like high cost areas like California or New York that sometimes you do have to have a lot of money just to afford
just
the
to be able
house,
to even compete, right?
And so that's why they say that. But that is so wrong. Most people get into their house with 3 to 3.5% down. That's most people.
That's the majority, okay? So I think it's too from our parents' era. Like our parents are the ones who were teaching us. They used to have like 20% down. I think that's how it used to work for the majority of people.
So we're thinking way old
school. Not the case. You do not need a bunch of cash. You also don't need 20% down. You can get a loan from 3% to 3.5% to 5% to 10% to 20%.
Whatever you want to structure your deal. But and then also we always talk about free money too. So there's a lot of grant programs that are out there to help with that kind of stuff too.
Right.
So
yes. Oh, there's a couple I didn't include. We might do some bonus myths at the end that I just remembered. Okay. So myth number one, debunked. You don't need a ton of cash and you don't need 20%. High five on that one.
High five.
Boom.
But
done.
also the closing costs too. Like some.
Oh, we're getting into that, girl.
Oh, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, I'm jumping.
Okay. The next one is myth number two. All you need is a down payment to buy the house.
That was number two.
That's number two. Why are you jumping ahead? So this is wrong. You absolutely need more than just your down payment. However, in this market that we're in right now, which happens to be a buyer's market,
Yes, and it's beautiful.
this actually is sort of like could be fact. It just depends, right? It's going to be a sort of a half myth. Typically, when you're buying a home, you need down payment, you need money to pay for your inspection, you need to make sure that you have money for closing costs, which is how much of the loan amount typically?
Usually like 2%. If it's a higher end house, it can get closer to the 1%.
Got it.
And then the appraisal as well.
Right. So you need to pay for appraisal, you need to pay for inspection, you need to pay for closing costs and your down payment. So a lot of people think, yay, I saved exactly 3%, I'm ready to buy a house. If it's not a buyer's market like it is right now, might not be an opportunity for you, or you might just have to save a little longer. In the market we're in right now, 2023, early 2023, and we believe probably through, hopefully coming up to the summer, I'm hoping it stays this way. The market's shifting up and down, but we are seeing and hoping to continue to see our rates kind of settle, which means more people are going to come back to the market. So until that happens, which again, it could be 2 months from now or 5 months from now, it is a buyer's market like you wouldn't believe. And because there's so many homes on the market to be purchased, the sellers are making it rain. So, like, you can come with your down payment, and then we, as a team, negotiate for the seller to pay for.
Use those negotiation skills.
Right. And who's the best negotiators in town, Amber?
Oh, that would be the Cerrone Group.
That's right. So we're really excited to be able to negotiate for you, having those 1 to 2%, which is thousands of dollars, by the way, 1 to 2% of those closing costs covered, or all of them covered, which ends up being 1 to 2% of the purchase price. We can even have some of the repairs paid for. We can even have them buy down your rate. So a lot of people are concerned about rate right now. Like, oh, the rates aren't good, I'm going to wait till they get good. No.
And this is where we utilize that buyer's market to have the seller pay extra so that you can use that extra to get your rate down lower.
A lot of people are waiting for it to be a 3%. Again, I'll wait till the rates go down to 3%. No. It can be 3% for you. We just have to make the seller pay for it, right?
Well, sometimes we can get down, but remember the new five is the new three.
Right.
Because the prices, everything has kind of come into line for that.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
we'd have to have a pandemic to really see them get super low.
So we don't want a pandemic.
But they do buy them down to the 4s all the time.
And it could be lower. It just depends, right? If you're buying, depending on the quality or depending on the desperation, I should say, from the seller, depending on the amount of the home you are trying to buy, depending on what it's all different factors that play in. But regardless, this is the time where you can actually
get that
show
deal
up with just a down payment and possibly walk through the door. So that's like a half myth. If we were in a typical market, you definitely would not be able to walk through and buy a home with just the down payment.
We would be walking through, here's what you have to pay, and it would be bullet pointed. Right now you have options. It's beautiful to have being a buyer's market.
Love this.
When you're a buyer.
Okay, so again, I'm just going to say for those of you just joining us, we're running through myths of real estate. I'm hoping you can rewind and start from the beginning. We're going to run through a bunch of them here, and also some mythical ideas that a lot of people walk into Vegas thinking they can do here. That's not really a good idea. While we're talking, please drop your questions in the comments box. And if you want to reach out to us, we love when you reach out to us.
We do. We really do love it.
Even if you don't buy, we just love being friends with everybody. Please click the link in the description or below this video, wherever you're watching it, and we would love to chat with you. So, okay, next myth. Myth number 3. You ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Myth number 3. School district is irrelevant if you don't have kids. How do you feel about that? I know you're an investor.
Well, the best school districts have the highest prices.
That's right. That's right.
So when you're buying in a good school district, people are always going to want to be there, right? So it's good to be in a good school district because you're going to have more value in your house later on when you go to sell it.
I agree. So my take on this is, what's your goal for this home? Are you going to live in this home? Are you planning on staying in this home longer than 3 years? Are you planning on raising a family? Do you want to turn it into an investment at some point? Is it going to be an Airbnb? Depending on your goals for the home is going to determine how heavily the school district ratings are going to weigh in your decision to purchase. That's just how we guide our clients, right? If you're like, this is my starter home, I'm not having kids for at least 5 more years, or even 2 or whatever, right? My kids won't be in school in this neighborhood. Great. The other thing too is, a lot of people reach out to us and they send us Zillow links from houses that they found that were 200,000 and 150,000, and they're in these neighborhoods that do not have the greatest school ratings. And I say,
they take really good pictures.
It's great. They take great photos. They use that fisheye lens. They make it look like this is adorable, upgraded. They put in new floors and everybody thinks it's a new home, right? The reality is it may not be the greatest investment for you because you want this to be a long-term investment, right? If you're going to live in it for a couple years and you don't care what the neighborhood's like and you don't care what it looks like from a school perspective, cool, no problem. But we need to have a more than just the next 2 years mindset about what you're going to do with this house so we can help guide you and make that decision. And just like Amber said, school district on the higher level in terms of like ratings is always going to cost more. However, it's kind of worth paying more, because even if you were to turn it into a rental later, people
are
going to want to
higher.
rent there.
Yeah.
They're going to pay higher for rent to be in those nicer neighborhoods. So it's really about what your goals are, what your budget is, and all the other things. But school district is absolutely relevant whether or not you have kids, because you need to be looking at that, at crime statistics, at what's going on in the neighborhood, what's going up in the neighborhood, what's, building plans for the city. You really want to understand the lay of the land around everywhere around that house before you put that purchase through, right?
I love how you pointed out that it's not a one size fits all.
It's absolutely
Like
not.
there's not it's not these bullet points. It depends on so many different things that has to do individually with your life. So
yeah, and that's why we're constantly saying, we love doing these videos for you guys, but we really want to make sure you understand that this is one-to-one conversation is the best way to get the answers that you need, right? John down the street's answers are not going to be the same as yours. And we really want to make sure you understand we are a no pressure crew. We don't push you, we don't pressure you.
And a judge free zone.
And a judge free crew. We don't care. It's a bing judge free zone. I need to actually just have that on the bottom. We're judge free zone.
Should.
Don't worry about clicking the link. We love you. We want to see you do the best you can. And honestly, we want to see you work the system, honey. That's what we're here to do.
We want to help you work the system.
All right, next one. You ready? This one's for you. Myth number 4, you have to have the same job for 2 years before you can qualify to buy a home.
I get this all the time. It's so crazy.
What's the truth, Amber?
Wrong. Okay.
Wrong.
So people think that you have to be in the same job. It's the same field for 2 years. So like if you went to school to be a nurse and then now for 6 months you've been a nurse and you're like, I haven't been a nurse for 2 years. You have been a nurse for 2 years because you went to school for 4 years in order to get your nursing degree, and then now you're within your field, right? Or some people move from out of state and they worked a job out of state and then they come in town and work a similar job and say, well, I haven't had my job for 2 years. Yet you've been in the same line of work, even though it was different states, it was different jobs. All we have to do is provide 2 years. And sometimes people even have a gap in between those 2 years. So sometimes I get people, especially during COVID, that would come and say, well, I was out of work for a year and a half or whatever. But if you're back to work right now, you make steady hours and we can provide a history of what you worked before. As long as you're back to work, in some cases 6 months, some cases it could be for a month. It depends on the type of loan. You can still qualify for a loan. So don't let job hurt you. There's a lot of things that can be looked at.
That's amazing. Let's just say it again. You are okay to qualify even if you have not been in the same job for 2 years. I think the other thing to add on is even if none of that applies to you and you're a 1099 employee or a gig worker, you're still able to qualify for a home loan. We just have to do it a little bit differently and look at bank statements and look at things like that, right?
Yeah, so if you're 1099, that you have to be a 1099 for 2 years, and we have to calculate your income off tax returns. So 1099's a little bit, it's kind of the same thing because you still have to be in the same line of work.
Right.
The only thing that people get confused at is I've had clients that are W-2 employees and then right before they turn into buy a house, they want to go to a 1099 job. Don't do that because that is a different line of work. When you're used to getting paid W-2, even though you might be doing the same job as a 1099, because they're paying you the bulk amount and then your expenses are different, that's where the lender gets messed up. So 1099, you have to want that job for 2 years.
Right. So if you have a job, keep the job until you get through the home loan process and get, the purchase finished. If you are a 1099, keep the 1099 or move to a job that has a W-2. That's a W-2 job that's similar to the 1099 work, right? So it's really, again, individual one-to-one experience. We got to talk to you. But the myth of you must have the same exact job for 2 years is absolutely bunk and wrong. It's a myth. We got it?
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Myth number 5, getting pre-approved will hurt your credit. So I know it depends on the lender when it comes to this, right? I know some lenders will pull a hard pull when they run to get you pre-approved because they really want to know what's on that credit to make sure they can put a game plan together. Some lenders will do a soft pull, which can bite you in the butt later if you don't actually pull the hard pull, because there's things that'll come up on the credit report that weren't visible on the soft pull that don't necessarily affect your credit. So this is kind of a half truth, half myth. What's your guys' process? What's your preference?
So some clients will call and say, I'm not ready to get my credit pulled just yet. So a lot of times I'll have them fill out the application. We can pull a soft pull if you want, or don't pull the credit and you kind of tell me what it is, right? And then we're just kind of running estimated numbers for you. But when you need to run it through, so if you're looking to get pre-approved, you want to start looking at houses, we have to pull your credit, which is a hard pull, because that's the only way we can run you through the automated systems. And the only way to really get an approval is to make sure that the automated systems are pulled, and they're pulling an approval
right
on them.
I'm a believer that, you know, if you're serious enough to, you know, start the conversation with us, we don't have to pull your credit right away. We can just start a game plan, right? When you're ready to actually get serious about, well, let's see what I would call, let's push forward. That's a good conversation to have, because it does pull on your credit, but it doesn't necessarily negatively affect you. It's just showing that you're looking at, you know, buying a home, things like that. I think it affects it like 5 points.
Not even
something
5
like that,
points.
maybe less than 5 points.
And keep in mind what you guys are looking at that says, oh, don't pull credit because it hurts your credit. That's Credit Karma.
Yeah.
And that's different versions of credit than what we pull.
Right.
If you're pulling your credit just one time to get pre-approved for a loan, then that's not going to hurt your scores. But if you're going to get a car and a credit card
and then
a house
yeah.
at the same time, then the bureaus are going to be like, whoa,
yeah.
what are we doing? And that's the reason why they drop your scores,
right.
is because you're doing too much at the same time. So
right.
you have to kind of look at it in a different light. If you've never pulled your credit before and you only did it
right.
once or twice,
right.
like I've had to rescore people's credit, and I've done it up to 5 times. And I didn't lose any points until I hit a certain number.
Right.
You know, like if I'm trying to help people get their scores up and stuff like that.
So really for us is, you know, just because you reach out to talk to Amber and start the process of conversation does not mean we're going to pull your credit. Like that doesn't have to even happen until we're ready. We can put you can also pull your own credit to look at even just what's hitting your credit for free. Isn't it freecreditreport.com, I think, is owned by the government. Once a year, you're allowed to pull your credit without it affecting it in any way, shape, or form through the government. So I do that every January. I pull my credit. I try to go through, my dog is joining us again. Try to go through all the lists of things that you can, like, just to see if there's anything new that's hit my credit. Even if you have, you know, some of your you know, your credit cards and stuff are watching your credit for you, which I have a few of mine that tell me what they think my score is. It's never right.
They're different versions.
Always different. What Amber is looking at and what other lenders are going to be viewing to decide if you're worthy of having a home loan is a completely different system. But being a good monitor of your credit is a good idea. So pull it once a year.
Absolutely.
Don't exceed that once a year so you don't ding your own credit. It's kind of a half truth, half not. Like, depends on which lender. I'm a big believer, and you want to go with a lender that's thorough, like Amber's team, that's going to go to the ends of the earth to make sure that there's no surprises, so that when we get to a place to where, oh my goodness, it's time to, you know, qualify for a loan, we know that we're in a good position. We don't have any surprises, right?
Yeah, and if you're actually wanting to get pre-approved and start looking for houses, we do have to pull the credit.
Right. I'm gonna let you run this next one for just a second, because I just realized I forgot to plug in my laptop.
I know, I just saw that.
All right, the listing. Okay, myth number 6: the listing price is set in stone. This is wrong. You go with it. I'll be right back.
Okay, so just remember, the listing price is what the seller wants to sell their house for, but a house is really only worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it, right? So that's why you need a good negotiator on your side, like the Cerrone Group,
like Laci and her team,
to be able to negotiate that down. And I mean, that's where okay, so when they have the list price, right, what they're gonna do is they're gonna pull comps to make sure that listing agent really did their due diligence in listing the house, and make sure that the house can value at what those comps say. And then also that's where you kind of want to look at, okay, if I need closing costs, this is how much we need to ask for. If I need buy downs, this is how much we need to ask for, and that kind of stuff, so that you're going to take that list price and cut it down based off of what you're going to ask for within closing costs and all that kind of stuff.
Boom.
So,
look at you owning this. I'm sorry, I had to.
Did you find
a plug for it? I cannot believe that I did not plug this in. Last week I forgot to turn on the do not disturb. This week I forgot to go and plug in my laptop.
Those dang lives, all the things you have to remember.
Oh my God, it's so exhausting.
But we love you guys for it.
So yeah, this is absolutely true. The other thing too is a lot of people think, and that's actually the next one I'm going to say, is that negotiating the purchase price down, like getting them to take money off the top of the purchase price, is the best way to negotiate for you to save money. And that is the biggest myth of all, in my opinion, when it comes to buying a home. And it's the hardest one to convince people of. Like, a lot of our buyers do not understand. They're like, I don't want to buy it for $400,000. I want them to give it to me for $380,000. And I'm like, okay, well, we could ask for $380,000, but how much is that really going to save in your monthly payment? Is it just a mental thing that you want to say you bought it for $380,000, or could we maybe look at another way to, I don't know, maximize the fact that, like, this seller is willing to take maybe $20,000 off or whatever that is, and apply that towards something that's going to affect you in the wallet right away in a good way, right?
And it depends. Like, a lot of people that will come in and say that, like, take $20,000 off the price, then I'll ask, well, what do you have in your bank account? So if you don't have enough in your bank account to pay the down payment and closing costs, and if you want to buy down the rate, then let's let the seller do that for you.
Right.
But sometimes we have to keep that price at the list price in order to do that.
Right. So it's really about, it's a puzzle. Every scenario is a puzzle, which
really
is super
is.
exciting for us. It's I don't know, it's the most exciting part of the job, I think, other than meeting you guys, of course. But it really gives us a chance to say, okay, what's going to benefit you the most right off the bat, and if it's, because sometimes like $10,000 off the top of a list price of a home is only going to affect you like 25 or $50 a month in your payment, right? So if the payment's not really a big deal, then let's figure out how to get you money, keep that money for your closing costs and all that other stuff in your wallet right now, and help you move in and buy new furniture or whatever you're gonna do, right?
Well, and sometimes you can take, if you cut down the money that's out of your pocket to buy the house, it's a long-term investment, right? And you keep money in your bank account, you can honestly make more money on the money in your bank account.
Yeah.
If you invest it right, then you can on the savings for the house. So,
good point. So this one's one that's the hardest to convince people of it being true. So what we try to do is lay it out like in a spreadsheet. We'll have Amber take a look and say, what's going to be the best scenario? What do we need to ask this seller for? And then we go to bat for you. So definitely a myth on that one. Please don't believe it. Let us lead you down the way. This one is the big one. Myth number 8. Spring is the best time to buy a home.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Let's do a double. Ready? No freaking way.
Don't believe it.
Do not believe it. Spring is probably the most popular time to buy a home.
It's when everybody else is.
When everybody
which
else
is why
comes
you're
out.
going to pay more for the house.
Yeah. The best time to buy a home, in my opinion, is during the holidays when nobody else wants to be putting away their Christmas tree and packing up and moving, and right freaking now. Like now through probably end of March, solidly one of the best times to buy, and especially in 2023, as we've said multiple times in a lot of our live streams, where we talk about how right now being that everybody else is waiting until the spring or the summer or waiting till the rates fall or whatever their reason to wait is, you could be one that doesn't wait and let us actually prove to you that a lot of the sellers and a lot of the home builders, that's okay, a lot of sellers and home builders are bending over backwards to make it work for you.
They're giving you deals right now.
Do not wait till spring. Please, for the love of God,
because the deals will go away. The deals will go away.
As soon as more people, and even just a few more people come back on the market, the builders especially, they're the first telltale sign.
I've already seen some of the builders drop to 3%.
Look at this guy. Builders are already starting to like really inch back on how much they're giving, and it's because they know, as well as we do, that the spring is coming, baby, and the interest rates are getting a little bit more level, and everything's starting to feel good. And people are going to be timing the market because they think they're experts when they're really not.
And to be honest with you, I'm feeling it though. Like I'm seeing more and more people calling to qualify. So as all those people come on the market, then the house is starting to move faster, and then people gain more confidence and say we don't need to give as much.
So I thought it was probably because of our amazing marketing and all of our awesome videos that people were calling us, but the reality is that there's some non-dummies out in the world. There's some smarty pants out there that are paying attention and that know that if you fish where, or what is it? Where
I said non-dummies.
Non-dummies.
I'm still stuck on
non-dummies.
non-dummies.
That's the thing where you say don't follow when you're the lamb, or don't be the lemmings, or what was it that we used to say?
Sheeple?
The sheeple. Don't be a sheeple.
Okay,
they know about the sheeple. The sheeple are waiting until the spring, so jump ahead of them. Get ahead of them. Take advantage of these deals because I'm telling you, it's unprecedented. I've never seen anything like it. And we've been right every single time, by the way.
It's so exciting, honestly, when I see the contracts come through. I'm like, woo, look what you guys did again.
Oh, man. All right, so we're talking about new home builders as well as resale. All right, you ready for the next one?
Okay.
Myth number 9. You don't need a realtor.
Oh, my goodness. Should we do a big, like...
Ready, here we go. 1, 2, 3. This is a huge myth. Okay, go ahead. You say it. I'm the realtor, so I'll be quiet. Let's see what you have to say.
Okay, so like, in any case, if you walk into a house that's listed on resale, right, they have a real estate agent that's represented on the seller side. That person works for the seller.
Yep.
So their allegiance is to the seller to get them as much money, which means you as a buyer aren't going to get the best deal.
Yeah.
And then if you're walking into a builder's office to buy a house, the people that work there, their allegiance is allegiance the right word?
Sure.
Okay. That's to the builder, right?
Yes.
They actually work. They're paid a W-2 to work for that builder, to represent that builder. So if you don't have an agent representing you, then you just lost negotiation power, because they're going to give you what they feel like they can get away with.
Yeah.
Instead of somebody like Miss Las Vegas gal over here trying to get as much from them as they possibly can, and asking because you don't get what you don't ask for.
I'm gonna let you do this for me all from now on. You can take over, girl. Let's talk about the different types of purchases, okay? Because the reality is you don't you're not required to have a realtor, but it's like, would you get divorced and not have let your ex-spouse have a divorce lawyer and you don't have a lawyer?
Yeah,
would you use the same lawyer that you're divorced, who you're
Good
divorcing?
Analogy.
Nah, you wouldn't, right? You want to have your own interests represented, and that's the same experience when it comes to buying a house. So new homes, like she said, those new home people are working for the builder. And unless there's someone like me who knows what they gave my client last week and who can nudge them and punch them and make sure that they are doing everything they can to keep that deal on track for you, they're not going to do it. They're going to sit back and put their hands up behind their head and lean in and wait for their bonus to arrive, right? And we love all of our new home builder agents. We have great relationships, so that actually helps, because a lot of times they won't even release information to the public without coming to the realtor teams who they love first, so that we can tell our clients. So it not only gives you, a real step up when it comes to negotiation, but you get information sooner and probably could get into a home faster than someone who's just coming in off the street. And I'm going to say even guaranteed, because that's just how it works. The other thing I want to say is, we don't cost anything typically from a buying perspective. There are one-time like transaction fees that are for compliance purposes that go directly to the broker, but you as the buyer, 99% of the time, are not going to pay the actual realtor to do the job for you. And a lot of people try to say, oh, well, why would you then use a realtor? You could just tell the seller that you're willing to let them, that you're willing to not use a realtor if they'll take that amount off the top of the home. But the reality is that doesn't happen ever, almost ever. And you still aren't represented. You still don't know how to review the documents. There's a lot of paperwork involved. We're the experts. We want to make sure we lead you through it. So that's for new homes. For resale, listen, bottom line, you could walk into an open house, and that's why, PS, 98% of the time, the reason someone's hosting an open house that you're looking at is because they want to get buyers like you who don't have an agent. That's the whole purpose behind it. It's not to sell the home. They don't care about selling that home. Most of the time, it's not even their listing that they're sitting at an open house. There's a whole network of agents in this town and all over the world that, hey, is that your listing on 123 Main Street? Could I sit an open house on Saturday for you? I really want to sit and see if I can get some buyers, right? The entire purpose is it's a marketing tactic to get you as buyers to walk through the door without representation. So go to open houses all day long. Do not, for whatever reason, do not just sign up with anybody. Make sure you're vetting the person you're working with. As soon as you sign something, as soon as you start a conversation, you now are kind of tied to that person, and now you may not like them. They may not have work ethic. They may not be hard workers. They may not be your kind of person. They may smell.
To be negotiators.
Knows, right?
Negotiators.
So you want to really look for the bulldogs out there and the people who are showing up for you every day like we are to give you information and tell you how we work the system and to bring you the truth, because that's the bottom line is we don't care. We're very transparent. We want to let you know what's what so you can make the right decision for you. And not to say that open houses are a bad thing. We've met a lot of our clients in open houses and we love it. But when we meet them, we step it up and prove to them right away, oh, and this is why you want to work with us. It's not, hey, just because you signed this document and signed into my open house, that means we're working together. No. It means we're going to step up and show you what houses do you want to see. Let's set up a showing appointment. Let me see your pre-approval. Who are you working with for a lender? What's your desires? What kind of a lifestyle are you looking for? Are you just moving to Vegas? And we go through a whole checklist to make sure that you're comfortable knowing we're on your side, right? If you contact, which happens a lot, you contact the listing agent directly for the home that you found on Zillow to try to circumvent the process, I'm going to just let you know right now, they're going to tell you either they can or can't, depending on what their broker says. They can either represent you both, the buyer and the seller, which you do not want. You just don't.
Don't do it.
Because then basically we are legally not allowed to give anybody any advice, and all we're doing is shuffling paperwork, which completely defeats the purpose, right? So what you want to do is you can call and ask questions all day long, but the end of the day is you want to have your own representative be the one who goes through. You're not supposed to even talk to the listing agent, and they're not supposed to talk to you. We're not supposed to talk to the seller, and they're not supposed to talk to us. There's a reason that we're in place. The thing that's going to happen typically is you're going to reach out to that guy on Zillow who has that one house that you really love. It's been listed for 182 days, and they just dropped it $50,000, and you're in love. This is the listing agent. Hey, John Smith, I know you're the listing agent at 123 Maple Street. I really want to make an offer. Hi, Susie, I can't unfortunately represent both of you. I've signed an agreement stating that I won't do that, but I've got the perfect agent for you that I'm going to recommend represent you in this transaction. Guess what that does? This guy calls his best buddy down the street. He tells him exactly what he's allowed to do and what he's not allowed to do, and you then also still lose your negotiating power. They will not, listen, we're legally allowed or legally required and ethically required to do what's best in your interest, but let's be honest. Everyone has a friend. Everyone's shaking hands and doing deals, and who knows if this guy's offering this guy a little take on the back if he makes sure not to negotiate it too far down and up. I mean, it really is still sort of in the seller's pocket at that point. So you want to be independent on your own. We all have the same licensing. We all have the same, rights and abilities to do this job, and we want to be able to stand up there and represent you. And I know that was long-winded.
Way to explain it. I'm
it's
like,
beyond
dang,
what she just said.
that.
It's each, and then the last one is for sale by owner. Please, for the love of God, do not, under any circumstances, buy a house without a realtor, especially in a for sale by owner. You will regret it, I promise.
I've seen so many horror stories.
It is a scary situation. So in that instance, it might cost you a little bit of money to bring a realtor. You can work a deal out with your realtor. Sometimes the realtor can ask the seller to help pay for it, because you need to be represented legally, or that is a house that you should take off your list immediately and walk away from. The reason a for sale by owner is typically on the market is because the seller's hard to deal with. They're non-negotiable. There's stuff wrong with the house that they would normally legally have to disclose to us as their realtor if we sell it for them, that they don't want to tell anybody. There's just a lot of things that are hidden, and that is not a transaction I would recommend you doing unless you walk in with your own realtor. So we're happy to help you in all circumstances, and that's the reality. And that was a 5-minute answer. I
yes,
hope
it was, but loved it. I love how you just say everything.
Well,
right?
I'm vomiting at the mouth here.
Let us know the truth. It's the truth.
Thank you. All right, next one. Myth number 10, looking at the home is the best first step in the process. You want to give me a double one on this one? That is a solid no. What is the best first step, Amber?
I mean, it's kind of like your analogy with getting divorced. Would you want to walk into Neiman Marcus and fall in love with this outfit that you can't do without, and then go to the cash register and find out it's $5,000 when you have nothing near that in your bank account?
Exactly.
To be able to pay for it? It's kind of the same thing.
Yep.
If you're going and looking at houses that you don't know what you can afford, you're setting yourself up right there
for disappointment. You're looking too low. You didn't realize you can
go higher. So
right.
you're wasting your time, and your time is valuable, right? So what you want to do is you want to get pre-qualified first, so that you can run numbers to make sure that you're comfortable with the payment,
right,
and that you can qualify for the house.
Right.
At that, and that way you're out looking in the right ranges of housing.
And that's the other thing too. I wanted to say, a lot of new agents fall into, I did it myself, fall into the trap of someone reaching out to them saying, hey, I saw your videos on Instagram or YouTube. I found a house that's perfect. This is the one I want. Found it on Zillow. Can you show it to me? Without the next question, a lot of realtors get sucked into showing homes to people who can't afford, can't qualify, and wasting their time, their gas, their effort, and their energy on something that's not going to come to fruition. We have a different philosophy.
People's hopes up,
and we don't want to get anybody's hopes up. We have a different philosophy. We want to speak to you in advance, but we're not going to show you a house until we know that you're able to buy it. We're just not going to do it.
We want to make sure that you are set up, like you're ready. We don't want to disappoint you. We don't want to waste your time, and we don't want to waste our time, to be honest with you either. And we want to make sure that you have a clear game plan, so that you go look at that house and you find out, oh, I can't qualify, then it's disappointment.
It just starts on a bad foot, really.
Yeah.
And the other thing too, Amber, is like a lot of other agents online won't even take a phone call from you until you're ready to buy. We completely don't agree with that. I would love to chat with you. 10 years from now, if you buy in Las Vegas, I still want to talk to you today. It doesn't matter your timeline. We are always open about that. We love that. We love talking to you. We love making friends with you. We want to understand. We want to dream with you, honestly, a little bit here and there.
We do. It's fun for us.
If you want to share houses you're thinking about, that's great too. But to walk through the threshold of a home that's on the market, it sets that seller up for thinking that they've got a possible buyer, which is not okay, because that's false hope. Sets you up for falling in love with that one home, and then every home you look at after that, if you can't qualify for that much, will never be enough, will never be right, and it really just wastes everyone's time and money. So we'll talk to you, we'll game plan with you, we will do anything and everything we can. We're not going to show you a home until you're ready to actually start buying, and that's just the bottom line. We even tour people around town to show them neighborhoods. We're just not going to walk you through the home. It's just not going to happen. So if you find a realtor that's willing to do that for you, I would be questioning if they're knowledgeable enough about the industry to actually know how to represent you properly, and if they're going to be able to negotiate, because if they're not quite keened in on the fact that showing a home without a pre-qual is a big no-no, then they may not be ready for you as a client. That's my take. So that's the reality. So on that one. Okay.
Myth debunked right there.
Here we go. Number 11. This is the last myth, and then we're going to go into mythical ideas. All right, here we go. Myth number 11. You need perfect credit to buy a home.
That's okay. Should we do a big?
That's a solid no. Talk about FHA.
Did you know that? Okay, so FHA VA. Let's talk about FHA. So FHA, you can go down to a 540 FICO score.
What? I say it again.
540 FICO score. That's pretty low in credit, right? you have to put down 10% to do that FHA. VA, all you veterans, because a lot of people won't tell you this.
Right.
You can have a 540 FICO score with zero money down.
Boom. What about conventional? What's the lowest?
Conventional is 620.
Look at that.
USDA as well, 540. So USDA is like rural areas.
Wow.
So like a lot of times you're not going to hear that because what lenders will put on things when you're seeing you have to have this FICO score, you have to have that FICO score. VA actually doesn't have a FICO score, right? But lenders have what's called overlays. So for them to fund the loan, they want a certain FICO score. That doesn't mean that the government entity that's funding, that's actually going to back the loan, requires that lender's requiring it. So you want to make sure that you're looking at the real stuff where there's not the overlays that requires a 620 or a 600 or whatever, because you can go a lot lower.
Those overlays are because that lender wants a solid foundation understanding that you're going to be able to make that payment. They don't want to risk it on you.
Yeah,
right?
because they're taking a risk doing a loan, but that it just tells you that when you're seeing something, ask around.
Yeah.
Just see what else is out there.
Compare, baby, apples
because
to apples.
Most lenders are going to hold you to a 600, 620 for an FHA or a VA. You can go a lot lower than that.
And Amber's the kind of person that even if you're not at a 540 or a 620 or where you think you might want to be, Amber has an amazing process that she and her team help you through where they will put you on a game plan to tell you exactly what you need to do with your credit. A lot of people think they need to just go pay off their credit cards and now my credit goes up. Or they need to put a bunch of money in savings, or they need to not buy a car, or all these wacky myths. But we're going to do probably a part 2 on these myths because there's 50,000.
Yeah.
That's one of the ones that people just don't quite understand how the crediting works. Let Amber, don't do anything. Let Amber tell you how to do it. Because if you pay off all your credit cards, it actually can hurt your credit sometimes. Things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, get a game plan. Get a game plan, because everybody's situation is different. You can't look at something that says, pay all your credit cards at 0 and then your scores will be this, because it's all going to depend on your past history. So we got to be able to see what it looks like for you.
Yes. All right, this was awesome. Those were our 11 myths for today. We will do another part because there are probably at least 60 more I can think of.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to mythical ideas. Now, before we move on to a couple of mythical ideas, I want to remind you, we are here for you. This is for you. So if you want to drop a question, drop it like it's hot. Put it in the comment box below. We will answer your questions as soon as we're done. We're just going to go another 5 or 6 minutes on this, and then we'll jump into your Q&A and kind of get those questions answered for you. All right? Are we good?
Okay, let's do it.
All right, mythical ideas. Oh, my allergies are kicking in. Here we go. Okay. Here's some mythical thinking that I hear a lot. Let me hear if you've heard this. Okay. Hi, Amber and Laci. I'm just thinking I don't want to buy a house. They seem too expensive, and I only have enough to buy, a little bit. So I think I'm going to buy a piece of land, and then I'm going to build my own house over the next few years. Please don't think that you're going to be able to do that in Las Vegas. Why is that possible? Why is that?
Okay, so there's 2 different things. Most of the time when you're buying a house, you want to get in with as little money as possible, right? When you're buying land and doing a construction loan, that's a minimum 20% down right there. So that's not a mortgage loan, that's a construction loan. It's a bigger risk to the bank, because what if they pay for all this stuff and then all of a sudden you lose your job and then they can't finish the house? Like they lose money right there.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different factors that go into it. I'm not saying don't do a construction loan if you want to build your own house, but if you're looking to put a minimum down payment down, you want to find a piece of property that has a house already on it, and then purchase it for a minimal down.
So that's the money side of things. But and there's still more money talk to be had, but I'm going to be very straight with you. Vegas is not the kind of city that has an abundance of contractors and all these people that can come in and just do the work for you. It's actually very tight. In fact, we're actually low on the types of people that we need, so much so that these builders have had to slow their building because they don't even have enough people who work for a W-2 for the builders to do the flooring, the windows, the electrical, all the things that need to be done, right? General contractors are hard to come by in Vegas.
So is land.
And land is hard to come by. Most of the land that's going to have the utilities run and all the things that you would want if you're going to build a home are going to be already purchased by some of these builders who are going to build on them when they're damn good and ready, right? So you can do that, but it's kind of a mythical thinking and way to go about things in Vegas. It's really not the best way to do it. Highly, highly recommend if you need land or want land, go buy a house that already has land around it and either tear the house down and rebuild or get a construction loan or do some of the things, what are those called? The renovation loan? Is that what those are? The ones that you guys are doing?
Oh yeah, the renovate. That's pretty cool to do that thing where you can take it down to just the basics of the house and then rebuild the whole thing.
Yeah. So it's not you can, but it's also going to cost you exponentially more than if you were to just buy a house, because the supplies and all the things that you're going to need on top of the labor will be double, if not more, because the builders get it cheaper, right? We're in a supply chain demand issue crisis as it is.
Yeah.
And then once again, finding the people to do it and keeping them on track is a very difficult task here in Vegas. A lot of turnover.
We do get that question a lot too.
A lot. Okay, one of the things I thought was funny that people say to me all the time is, once I pay off my home, I can just, not pay insurance on my home anymore, right? That's like some fantastical idea. I've heard that like 3 times, and I'm like, well, first of all, congrats for almost paying off your home.
Oh yeah,
but this is even from people who are like big planners, who are trying to plan 20 years away, and they're trying to figure out what their money's going to look like. Most mortgages are going to require that you have insurance.
All mortgages will
right?
require it, because if the house burns down and they have a mortgage on it, the bank would lose, right? Unless you have insurance, and the insurance is required to rebuild that house.
Right.
So they're going to all require it. But the same thing if you own it free and clear, if the house burns down, you don't want to be out your $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 that you just paid for that house free and clear. You want to be able to recoup that and have it rebuilt again.
Home insurance is not that expensive. Bundle it with everything else that you have.
It's not that expensive.
It's not that expensive. It is worth it. It is worth it. Same question about home warranty. Do I really need a home warranty? Do I not? Listen, I think home warranty companies are the biggest scam on the planet. I'm going to say it out loud all day.
I love how truthful you are tonight.
It sucks.
Lay it out, Laci. I love it. They do. They are a big scam.
You got to pay $75 if your washer breaks for us to come out and even look at it, and then we're going to tell you, oh, it needs a part, and they'll literally have you working on a 25 or 30-year-old air conditioning unit because they don't want to replace it, right? They're going to go to the ends of the earth to not have to replace a broken something that would just be an easier replacement, right? And it's costing you money every time they come out. But I always still recommend, especially if you have a rental, always have a home warranty. It's a $500-$600 a year-ish, depending.
Just for the big things.
Just have the home warranty. It's worth it. It's better than you having to be the one who comes out of pocket $7,000 instead of the home warranty company knowing what they need to do and being able to work with a vendor. There's also some really great home warranty companies that let you choose the vendor. So that's actually a nice change. We just found a recent one that our team is using that we really like a lot, and they're not as scammy, I don't believe, as the others. So that's a good one. So keep your insurance as long as you have the house, and if you can, keep the home warranty, especially if it's an older home.
Yeah, I love that. Good advice.
All right. One of the other mythical ideas that I've heard about is a lot of people, and this has got to be people come from the East Coast, people who have rented most of their lives. A lot of people kind of tend to forget or not realize that you got to pay for like all the utilities and things like that when you move into a home. So I've had quite a few clients, we get to like we have a process where we send them, here's a list of things to start your energy and water and cable and sewer and trash. You got to set up all these accounts and get those monthly bills set up to be auto paid or whatever you do. And I've had people look at me like, well, what do you mean? This isn't included in my monthly payment? No, your water usage is not included in monthly payment, right? So, but a lot of people, when they rent, it is wrapped up in there and it is included. So I know that seems silly, but I've had at least 5 clients in the last few years come from the East Coast or places that they've never bought or had to pay for energy, things like that. You absolutely have energy, water, cable, trash, HOA fees, sewage, all these things that you have to make sure are paid outside of that home mortgage. So I know that seems silly, but it's been a thing. So. And then the last one I'm going to say, this is mythical thinking and ideas, and we can both agree on this one.
Okay.
You can watch the news and listen to friends to learn what's the right time to buy in the real estate market. No, absolutely not. That's the biggest of all. Like, hello.
Big.
You're doing the right thing. If you're tuning into this broadcast, whether it be live or replay, this is where you need to find the information. The local people who are in it to win it for you every single day. Am I right?
Yes.
The news is national, baby. The Review Journal is even national most of the time, right? We want to focus on
national,
local.
And they make money off negativity.
Yep.
So you're never going to get the full truth. Yep. You're going to get what gets them the most clicks, or gets them the most views, or gets them whatever, whatever it is. So you're only going to get the negativity.
Absolutely. And then the last part of that puzzle, and really just of this mythical idea is, a lot of people think, okay, I think it's time for me to buy now. They don't put into play the time that it takes to get pre-approved, to work through the documents, to talk to Amber, to talk to our team. It takes a little bit of time to get set up. The cat's here too. We got both animals sitting behind us.
I know, they're such cuties.
So that's why we constantly are reminding you, call us today. I don't care if you're buying in 20 years. Call us today. Click the link in the description or below this video. We want to talk to you now. We want to start that conversation. We've got clients we've been talking to for almost 5 years now that are finally ready, and they were willing to take the risk and dream a little dream with us a long time ago. And I'm so grateful.
We love you, dreamers.
We love you, dreamers. Okay, enough with the mythical ideas. Let's go to Q&A. How about that? What are you feeling? All right.
Do it.
Thank you guys for waiting. We know that was a bit of a long-winded one, but there's quite a few.
We had to get all those myths out.
Oh man. Okay.
mythical
Mark
things.
1 says, "Hi Amber, I'm ready." Okay, I want you guys to put your hats on for the house buying experience. We will definitely wear the hat. So Amber is the Wizard of Loans.
I needed to bring my wizard hat today.
I
We'll have to do
know,
it in
and
my
I need
office.
a princess queen hat or something. I don't know. I gotta
Yes,
figure it
we do.
Yeah.
No, you need a queen.
out. I need a queen.
Because you are a Las Vegas gal.
Mm-hmm. Let's look at Martha G. She says, "When I called a realtor, they told me that you have to have at least $30,000 for a down payment." Well, Martha, I'm sorry to hear that. That feels like you might have been misled, or maybe they didn't understand what was going on, or maybe you didn't call our team. I think that's probably what happened. It really just depends, Martha. And again, this market is different, so you may not need as much for the down payment and all the other monies that you might go into it, because we can negotiate for the seller to cover a lot of that for you. It's really going to depend on how much you spend, what you're qualified for, and really all those factors kind of into one. So if you want a different answer, you want us to look a little further, please click the link in the description. We'd love to talk about your specific experience, because we definitely know that we can get you a really good deal right now.
Yes.
So really good point. Okay, Jake Gallen says elbow cough. I don't know why. Hi, ladies. Accepted a job. This is from Oscar. Accepted a job with a promotion in the Vegas office. 5 years in the making. Just waited to be released to move. Congratulations, Oscar. Oscar's one of those clients who's been talking to us for a very long time. We're so grateful, our
make
friend.
those dreams come true.
How awesome is that? That's so amazing. Let's see. Mark says my credit today was 674 on Navy Federal Credit Union. So once again, you said even if you're checking your credit score online, it may not be the same score that you get, right?
Yeah, because everybody pulls different versions of credit. So on the mortgage side, could be different than what Navy Federal pulls, even though Navy Federal does.
They do mortgages too.
They do mortgages and they do credit cards and all kinds of different stuff, but like it still might be a different version. So it's always good to have it pulled by, me.
Oh, I love by me. All right, here's another one. Ari says, "Can I get a pre-approval with a job offer letter for a nurse position? I haven't worked for almost 2 years because I've been in nursing school, or do I need to wait until I have a few pay stubs?"
I love your question. Love it. Yes, you can. So your nursing school is your job history. What we're going to do is have you print out your transcripts to show that you've been in nursing school for the last couple years. And now that you have a job offer letter, yes, you can close a loan with the job offer letter. And what the loan's going to require is after it closes and you start the job, then you're going to give us the pay stub.
Nice.
So we're going to be able to close your loan and you give us the pay stub after you're in the house.
Love that.
So yes, great questions.
Great
and congratulations
question.
on graduating from nursing school.
Please call us. Please let us be the ones to help you. This is super exciting that you tuned in. I love that. Congratulations.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. It says Arnu Biam says, "Is there still a shortage of homes out there?" No, not really. Actually, we've really seen a pleasant kind of increase in a lot of homes that are available for sale. So about a year ago, we were absolutely in a pickle because we had too many buyers, not enough homes, and those homes that were out there were being bid. You had to outbid your neighbor.
That was when it got crazy.
We're in a really good place right now. We have, I think, around 5 months worth of inventory, which a really even market typically is about 6 months of inventory. Once it gets over 6 months of inventory,
then it's major buyers.
It's kind of major buyers market, but it's kind of been steady for the last month or two. So yeah, we've got a lot of homes available, and including new homes. So definitely reach out to us and let you know what's available and what you might be looking for. Really awesome. Ooh, Mariana PB says, "We finally received the credit score coming from Canada, still low at 650. Does it qualify to buy a house? And any idea of value and rate? We intend to make a down payment of 20%. Congratulations!
Yay,
oh my God,
way to go! It takes months, to be able to build up your credit score when you come back. Because what happens is you have to open up a credit card, and then that credit card has to season for 6 months. So good job waiting that 6 months. And 650 is not a bad credit score to start with.
Not at all. It's above all of the required rates, honestly.
Yeah.
Hard to give rate and what you would qualify for without knowing your income and things like that. So
we'd have to go through everything.
Mariana, we can do it though over the phone. Amber's she seems sweet here. She's even sweeter on the phone, I promise. So click the link in the description. And P.S. guys, that link takes you to my website. There's a form that you fill out, and then we will contact you via email or phone. So make sure you're putting in the right and accurate information. We want to make sure we can reach out to you. We don't sell your information. We don't market anywhere other than just here. We want to make sure that we're getting. We
need to
be able to get a hold of you. That's been a kind of trouble lately. Paul Carl Lucas says, "What causes stubborn sellers to become scared sellers and meaningfully lower their asking price?" Paul, so first of all, really good question. Be honest, time on the market typically will create a scared seller, right? They're trying to get what John Smith down the street got last year. They waited too long to list their house. They haven't had any showings. It's been sitting on the market. No matter how much marketing you do, no matter how many open houses you do, you're just not getting the traffic. So that's typically what'll shift someone, but time is really it.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, Paul, lowering the price is not always the best way to go about it. Sometimes we can get them to lower price and pay for other things for you, but lowering the price is not always the best way to go into negotiating. We want to make sure that we're, trying to negotiate and maximize exactly what's going to work, right?
Yeah, and what you need. And a lot of times what you need is lower payments.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, the Tesoro, let's see, the Toros times 3. Number 8, now is the best time to buy. Just think, since 2010, 12 years ago, housing is at a 2 times 3 value. Sadly, many memories are that short, but buy now while it's affordable because it won't be by 2035. Really good point. Thank you so much for that.
It always is a long-term goal. You're always going to win.
Yeah.
I think there was a survey that came out that said how many millionaires became millionaires, and housing is always the top of that.
Well, listen, people need a place to live. That's not going away, and they're not building. God's not creating any more land, and frankly, most of it's going away, right? So at the end of the day, lean in while you can. And then the other comment from this same person was, by 2035, there's projected in the U.S. to be close to 5 million rentals short of what we need. Why? Because real estate will 2 times again, making homeownership unaffordable. Last chance to get in is now, before the next leg up. And listen, I don't want to fear monger. I don't want to say the last chance is now. The time when you're ready to buy will be the right time for you. We just want to make sure you guys are alerted of good opportunities like right now. Definitely.
Yeah,
great feedback.
It is a sweet spot. And yeah, thank you so much for that feedback. That's awesome.
Yes, this is a really good one. Gregory says, Nevada already had the worst school systems in the country. Not definitely the worst, but we definitely could improve. Why wouldn't you pay more for private education or homeschooling instead of dumping it into real estate? Listen, at the end of the day, Gregory, how people use their money is up to them. And a lot of people, which you may not realize, is while the standard school system here in Vegas may not have the greatest ratings, we have a plethora of opportunities that are still free and paid for by the government, that are magnet schools and specialized school training experiences and things like that are really kind of specialized and cool that a lot of people don't even know about. So definitely agree, if somebody wants to put money into private schooling versus a home, that's awesome. I think you can do both. And a lot of times you can even get scholarships for private education. So we have private, we have magnet, we have homeschooling, we have experiential learning, we've got public school, we've got it all, right? So definitely, I'm a product of magnet schools. My kids are a product of magnet schools here in Las Vegas. It is what it is. I totally feel you though. The Las Vegas school system definitely could use a boost, and I know that they're doing what they can.
Hopefully they're working on that next.
Yes.
But it also depends on the area that you live in too.
Absolutely.
Like if you're gonna raise a family, you want to make sure that they're in an area that's nice to be raised in too.
Agreed. Let's see. M. Johnson said, I need help with the game plan. Let's go.
Well,
if we don't hear from you, how are we going to help you, right? So make sure you click the link in the description below. Again, it takes you right to the website. We'll get you turned into a conversation, whether it be email, check your spam, or text, or honestly, phone. All right, let's see. Ooh, Gary Anderson says, I'm going to call tomorrow. I'm coming down for SHOT Show, and I want to learn what is a good idea and a bad idea. Gary, awesome.
Yes, let's talk to you.
We're so excited to hear from you. That'll be fun. This is going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. All right, Mark 1 says, Laci and Amber, get ready for my buying experience. I'm putting the package together, Amber. Haha. See, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Bring it, Mark. Let's do it.
You've been definitely on. We've been working. Aussie Expat says, hello. Good to see us. Good to see you as well.
Aussie.
Okay, let's see. Here's a good one. Brian says, in general, if we're saving 3% down payment conventional, should we also save another 3% for closing costs? What are your thoughts?
I would say keep saving your money. Once you save 3% down, then let's start, right? But don't stop your savings plans.
Good point.
Because you never know what's going to happen in the future. Sometimes the loans will want to see that you have reserves in your bank account, depending on what your FICO score is and stuff like that. Sometimes you might even just like the numbers better at putting 5% down, and then you have options. So let's talk, so that we can figure out that plan. And if buying at 3% works, then great, but don't stop your savings plan. Even after you buy a house, keep on saving. Yeah.
And the other thing too is if you have 3% down right now, or even before you even get there, talk to us, because there might be free money programs that can add on to just boost your down payment or boost your savings plan that you're going through. Also, again, in the market we're in right now, the seller might be able to help out a lot. We've seen the most creative finagling of deals.
It's been nice.
It's been really nice. Actually, it's been beautiful.
Stretching our brains, and we love it.
Aussie Expat says 3% down for an FHA loan, question mark. It's typically 3.5%, correct?
Yeah, conventional's first-time home buyer is 3% down. FHA is 3.5% down.
Awesome, good question. Brian also asked, my credit union's advertising a combo loan, 80% primary loan and 20% secondary loan for the down payment to avoid PMI. Is this a good idea? Good question.
That is a good question, and those are loans really of the past, so it's nice to see them coming back again.
Nice. So that's a nice program.
Yeah, that's what they were doing, back in the past. It really depends on the rates on them. So a lot of times when they're doing an 80-20, the 20% one is pretty high. Mm-hmm. So when you combine them, your payment might be a little bit higher than what you want it to be.
Yeah.
So it's always good to compare the two.
Yeah, definitely. If your credit union is doing that, great. Don't wait too long after you run your numbers with your credit union to reach out to Amber. You don't want there to be a lag because it'll ding your credit more than once. You don't want to do that. If it's done close together, it's one hit. And then beyond that, she might be able to offer different or better rates or better programming. But really cool. Nice. It's cool to see those coming back.
Yeah.
Let's see. Aussie Expat says, my neighbor wants to move to Seattle to be with her grandkids. Every day it's not sold is golden time away from family. Kind of answering once again Paul's question about what makes a greedy seller a scared seller. It's time. Every day.
I love how you guys answer each other's questions.
I love it. All right, let's see. Angie says, with all the shortages of qualified labor with new builders, it's been reported and investigated that there have been issues with poor quality. I'm sure you're in the know to guide your clients. What are your thoughts? Angie, freaking amazing point and question. Yes, definitely there's been reports. I will say this though, Vegas, this is what we do. Construction is what we do here. It's what we've done forever. The joke is that the cone, the construction cone is the state flower and the construction crane is the state bird, right? Like that's genuinely how we do and what we do. It's probably the truth. So I will say yes. So we guide our clients to investigate when it comes to yes, we're in contract. Get yourself an inspector that's from the outside of the company with the builder. It's a small expense in addition to what you're going to be spending on the home, $500-600, but it will save you a headache in the long run. There's not been very many that have come back with any issues, but what's cool is if you do it early enough in the process, we encourage our clients to layer by layer by layer go. The walls are up, the guy goes in for the one price, the guy goes in and does an inspection and then make sure that they fix those issues before they move forward. Electrical's in, guy goes in, does the inspection. So layer by layer by layer throughout the process of the home building.
That's a good idea.
The outside inspectors can give you a little bit of a different perspective and it's great. The other thing to keep in mind is, and again, please use us if you're thinking about buying a new home. Please call us before you go to the builder. Please, we want to help you and that's the only way we can help you. But the other thing that is cool is a lot of the new home builders are going to give you warranties galore on the home, which is lovely. But for the first year, anything that breaks or if there's a split because there's settling or if there's the dishwasher or literally anything, you have the ability to call and put in an order with the concierge for the new home builders to have things fixed throughout that first year. After that first year, it goes into some of them have a 7-year, bumper to bumper kind of warranty or electrical and structural and things like that. So they've got a ton of warranties that'll help you ease your mind a little bit on that. But better to explain it, depends on the builder. Let us help you. Again, please don't go without us. Please don't go without us.
Yes.
All right. Ken says, me and the missus are looking to move to Henderson when I retire in 2 years. We currently own our home in California. Should we sell our house first before buying there? Currently, our home is fully paid for. Ken, congratulations.
Yes,
that's
good
amazing.
job paying off your house.
What would you say?
If you have a paid for house, I would probably, and I'd probably have to look at your file all together so we can see what you're comfortable with. But if your house is paid for, I would say buy the house before you sell your house in California.
Yeah.
And then, so what a lot of people will do is they'll buy their house here because then it's a lot less stressful for you when you're doing everything at the same time. But they'll buy their house here, and then when your house sells in California, then you could do what's called a recast on this loan.
Right.
Or if you're looking to pay for this house off cash eventually, do the loan on it first. Then you have time to sell your house in California since you don't have a mortgage on it anyway.
Yeah.
And then you take that cash and then pay the loan off, or take that cash and put a lot down on the house and do a recast. Which a recast is when you buy a house, you put a lot smaller down payment on it, and then sometime in the future you come into a lot of money and you want to put more on it, but you don't want to refinance because you don't want to lose your rate. Then that's when you use the recast because there's no cost to it, and we lower your principal amount and your payment to what your current value is. Did I lose you on that one? Or does that make sense?
I thought that was really, really well said. It's also important to think, congratulations, Ken. You're 1 in a million of people who have their house paid off. That's amazing. I'm a big believer, if you don't need to sell that house, why would you sell the house, right?
It could be an income source.
We really want it to be an income source to pay for your best life in Vegas, right? So maybe you find a renter, you find a property manager so you don't have to deal with it, and it's out of your hair, but you're collecting that check every single month, and that can help subsidize and pay for a really beautiful time here in Vegas, or maybe you time to travel, or I don't know what your plans are, but super, super excited that you're planning to retire. Congratulations. We really hope you'll work with us, Ken. That sounds so fun. And it's really cool too, because there's opportunity also if you want to take a little money out on that house to use that as a down payment, and then you can put it on a few homes. There's just like, I love the puzzles. It just makes so much makes our job so fun.
It does give you a lot of opportunity,
yes,
because you've taken so good care of your finances.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, let's see. Ocean is asking, how is Vegas regarding crime? I watched a few videos mentioning that most of the police officers in Vegas have less than 5 years of experience. From your end, how's the climate with crime? What would you say?
I mean, I don't watch that stuff too often.
All right, I'll give my take.
I haven't ran into it too much, but I haven't watched it too often, so give your take on it.
Yeah, I will definitely. So, you know, we are a regular city. So, Ocean, thank you. Great question. Really good doing your research. Love that. I'm always a person that's going to spin it on the positive, but I'm also going to always be honest with you. And the honest thing is we're a real city. I live downtown in a pretty high crime area because of this is an older part of the city, and I don't fear for my life. I don't get scared. I don't have any issues whatsoever. There's a lot of crime that's been happening on the Strip, and like there was that horrible stabbing that happened a few months ago on the Strip. It's just so many sad things that happen, but we are no different than any other city. So I don't necessarily look at the length of time that the officers have on the job, although I think that's a really smart stat to look at. I really try to pay attention to what kind of a lifestyle am I looking for, what part of town can give me that lifestyle, and then I would zoom in and focus on what are crime, what's robberies, what car thefts, what gang activity, whatever it is that you can look up online on lvmpd.com, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, and try to zoom in that way. Looking at the city-wide scape, yeah, we're just like every other city. We have crime. I'm not scared. I've never once had an issue, knock on wood, with crime or anything directly targeting me. And I've lived in almost every area of this city throughout my life. I live currently in an area that's, again, not the best. We're right down the street from, very old part of town, and I still am just fine. So it's really about you and what your comfort level is. And I learned that as a hard lesson a few years ago. We had mutual clients that, in my mind, they said, I thought I knew what they wanted, right? And I was a very young agent. This was like 5 years ago or 6 years ago or something. And, they're from an area in Southern California where they're used to sort of what it feels like downtown. A lot of walk out of the street and you got people walking by your house, and just not like the pulled away neighborhood that most of Las Vegas feels like, right? So I didn't quite get that that's what their comfort level was. Didn't really have anything to do with crime, but just the vibe, right? So really, let us work directly with you to determine kind of what you're used to, what's going to feel good to you,
and what your vibe
is, and then we'll dig in on those crime rates. But just to be very honest, we are like every other city. We have carjackings, we have people who are in gangs, we have kids bringing guns to schools, we have sadly robberies, we have murders, we have everything that you would have. Don't worry, Vegas can offer that to you as well. But it doesn't make my decision about living here or my feeling about our city anything but amazing, because I know that our city,
there's not really any city
it's just not an issue. No, it's not an issue, and I feel that the pros in any city, you should be looking at the pros outweighing the cons, and the pros of living in Vegas to me far outweigh the typical standard crime that you're going to get anywhere else, right? So I hope that answered with a positive note, but very honestly. But really the best way for us to do that is for us to go down into like, what's your vibe? What are you looking for? And let's look at the areas of town that are going to serve your lifestyle, and then we'll dig in on the crime, and I'll give you straight up. I'll tell you what's up. I'm never going to be able to tell you this is the perfectly safe home, because I don't know what's going to happen 2 years from now, but I can help you understand the landscape of what's going on in the city over there, the growth, all the things that I know. And I've been here since you were born and raised here, and I've been here since I was 9. So I have a pretty good handle on it. Yeah, really good question. Let's see. Chris M says, Laci, do you have a place in mind for our drink? Chris, are you in town? Let's go, son. Let's do this. I do. I have 17 places in mind. Click the link in the description. Reach out. My assistant will get you connected with me. I'm certain it'll happen. And look, Ocean, if I'm even inviting an online stranger to come and have a drink with me, I'm feeling pretty good about crime in Las Vegas, don't you think? I love it. All right. Gurley says, do you have a program for investment properties?
Absolutely.
Frick yeah, we do. Abso-freaking-lutely. Lionel's asking if he wants to hear it again about the recasting. Will you talk about the recasting loan thing once again?
Yeah, so what recasting is, so let's say you're going to buy a house for 400,000. Actually, it doesn't matter the price.
Yes.
And you're going to put 5% down on it. But in the future, you have a sum of money coming in over $10,000. So like I've seen borrowers take it and put like $100,000 afterwards. You don't want to refinance that house because there's fees to refinancing, right? And then the rates might be higher and it doesn't benefit you anyway. But you want to pay down the principal, but you want your payment to reflect the payment of the new principal balance, which doesn't happen unless you ask for a recast. So if you're putting down more than $10,000 after you're already in the process of a loan and you're making your payments, then you can do the recast. There isn't fees to it. If there is, there are very small fees like recording fees and stuff. And then that lowers your payment to the new principal balance. Doesn't change the terms of your loan at all. So you're not starting all over on a 30-year fix, and it doesn't change your rate. You're on the same rate. You're just changing the principal balance.
Tricks of the trade, right?
And it's a great way to do it. So if you have another house to sell, but you don't want to, you want to put down a smaller amount and later lower that amount. It's a great way to do it.
See, this is why I work with her. She's the best. She's creative and isn't just, just refinance it. No, refinancing may not be the right thing. That's awesome. No, Thank you for re-explaining it.
I mean, to be honest with you, a loan officer is going to make money after you refinancing it, but is it always the best for you to refinance if you don't have to?
Did you just give yourself the opportunity to miss out on money because we want to do the best thing for our clients?
We want to do the best thing for the client.
Interesting. Another reason why you need to work with us. Okay, let's move on down the line. We got a couple more and then we're going to wrap it up. You guys are talkative tonight. I love it.
Oh, nice.
Aussie Xpand is saying, what are people leaving or coming to Vegas on a net perspective? The last stat I looked at was about last summer, and it said we had 138 new people moving here every single day. But I don't think I've seen I don't know that we have like the stat for when they leave. But I can tell you the city has grown exponentially in the last 5 years. Yes.
So I would say more coming.
I would say more. I think it's a little bit more of a stickiness factor now. It used to be almost like you were throwing something against the wall, like a ping pong ball, and then it would bounce back at you with the people leaving and coming and going. But we're getting pretty sticky. The city is offering a lot more. There's a lot more job opportunities.
The city's done a really good job with the job opportunities. It used to all be about gambling, and now there's just so much variety of jobs.
So much more than entertainment. So it's pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely can feel that there are more people here, and it's definitely making me change because I'm spoiled rotten. Okay, you guys, I had this city all to myself for so long, and now I'm like, where'd you go? What are you doing here? Get out of my way. This is my, But it's not crowded. We still have traffic, but people from California laugh their butts off when I tell them we have traffic. So I'm just a spoiled brat, and I'll get over it. But I definitely feel that there are more people here,
especially at rush hour.
Deciding if I want to. No, I can never leave the city. Anyway, all right. Greg is asking, what are some great family-friendly hotels in Henderson to stay at this summer? Really good question. Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, the only one I would think of is like Green Valley Ranch because there's like amazing shopping there.
Oh yeah, they
have an amazing spa. Well, I'm always looking at the
spas. They got the beach entry pool for the kiddos. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
M Resort is a beautiful hotel. Has a great setup for kids.
Lake Las Vegas has really good ones too.
Las Vegas has great setup and there's tons of kids activities and it's kind of pulled away from the city, about 20 minutes from the strip. M Resort, Green Valley Ranch. If you're looking for a little bit more of a bargain and you want to be able to like cook in the room, I'm not sure what your plans are as far as that goes. Are they Hilton? Homewood Suites, Hilton Homewood Suites. There's one off of Eastern Boulevard, which is right in the smack dab in the middle of Henderson, that has a full kitchen setup. Oh, my cat's being a punk right now. She's trying to knock over the camera.
She's like,
full kitchen setup. It's kind of like a little timeshare vibe a little bit, but it's awesome. But I'm a huge fan of M Resort. Huge fan. I love it. Love Green Valley Ranch. I opened that spot back in the day when I worked in the casinos.
It's a beautiful spot.
Sunset Station's a little older, not really super family friendly, but whatever. But the Hilton Homewood Suites are a nice little. And then Lake Las Vegas, baby, do it. Love it. Oh, go ahead.
I actually went and stayed in Lake Las Vegas this summer.
Nice.
It was beautiful. I was like
you're not even in Vegas.
You feel like you're completely out of Vegas.
Yeah, I love it.
It was a nice place.
Look at this. Ocean said, thank you so much for your answer earlier about crime. She appreciates us. Ocean, we love you, girl. You better give us a call. That's all I'm saying. Okay, let's see here. Oh, let's see. Oh, Chris M. looks like he's staying in Lake Las Vegas right now, which is really cool.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Brian said he loves Laci. I love you too, Brian. Look at this. Neo1442 says, I'm really interested in new properties. How are these properties doing in Las Vegas? Should I buy one that is built and ready to move in? Neo, the answer to your question is you should call us first.
So they can go over
so we can look at it because we have A lot of other groups in town don't have what we have. We have personalized relationships with every single builder in town. They love working with us because we bring all kinds of cool people from YouTube who are moving to the city, who are new, and we have great clients. We have great clients.
We do have great clients.
We're so lucky, and so because of that, they really like working. I don't know. I feel like like attracts like, right? We're attracting our
attracting
vibe, right?
each other.
So, but new homes out here are doing pretty well still. There's definitely still a lot more opportunity than there was even just 9 months ago. We do have standing inventory. They're doing some crazy awesome discounts on those, but you're only going to be able to negotiate to the nth degree if you have someone from our team helping you or if you have a realtor representing you. So please make sure you walk through the door with us, and we'll help you. I'm a big believer, it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a home with the pool and all the fixins and the backyard done and all this stuff, you got to go to resale, because you're going to have to put all that in and spend the money out of pocket for the new home. If you don't give a crap about that and you're going to slap a backyard in and don't care, new home might be the way to go. And a new home's awesome. Who doesn't want that? I would love a new home. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I think most of the people are just saying Happy New Year. Hey, Awesome Sauce says Happy New Year. Want to say thank you. We've been on an hour and 10 minutes.
I know. Thank you so much for all your questions.
Thank you guys.
And your love too.
We are so excited. Next Wednesday night, we are going to be talking about Airbnb. Airbnb is one of the biggest questions that people come to us about. I've got some news about what's going on with the rules. Amber's going to talk about possible loan opportunities for investments. We're going to talk about condotels. So it's going to be everything and anything you want to know regarding like Airbnb, and we'll answer your questions. If you're curious about that in the meantime, please click around on my YouTube channel, Las Vegas Gal, and make sure to watch some of our Airbnb series. The newer videos are the better ones.
You put some good ones out there.
Some really good ones out there. Yeah,
You've really dug in and figured out the guidelines.
And we're showing you how to work the system, so you don't have to worry about it. So tune in next Wednesday. Ask us live. We're going to be live probably same time, same place next Wednesday night. Otherwise, we will see you, I guess, elsewhere on the social medias and everywhere. And if you're not already doing so, please follow Amber Coleman Loans on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes, please.
And then also she has a YouTube channel if you're not watching us on that one already. But super grateful for you. Happy freaking New Year.
Yes,
Happy New Year. I'm going to keep saying Happy New Year till the end of January, just FYI. So everybody knows.
Honestly, it's a great start to 2023.
All right.
Love it.
Love you guys so much. I love you, my sweetheart. See you soon. We got to end everyone in a hug.
Okay.
See you soon, guys.
Bye,
Talk to you soon. You better call us if we told you to. Let's go. Let's do this. Bye-bye.
Bye.